All right, gotta unmute me. Did I ever unmute you guys? I did. Not mute you guys at all. Anyways, what's poppin', Tub Takes? Hello, Tub Nation, Tub Takes. I don't remember the intro, but how's it going, people? Welcome back. This is a video game podcast, a VGC video podcast where we talk about the. You can tell I don't have the intro on my screen, so I don't know what to say. Anyways, it's a VGC video podcast where we talk about what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today, I am joined by my co-host who maybe knows where he is and what to say. Adi, how you doing?
Hello, everyone, and where am I? What do I say? I don't know where I am.
No, welcome back to the channel. You know where we are. This is CK49 on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube,
Oh,
you're watching now on Twitch. Well, hello.
We're
also,
in the tub. That's right.
We are in the tub. Everybody hop in that tub. We've also got Void with us today. Void, how you doing?
What's up, guys? Forgive me if I'm a bit slow right now. I just woke up. It's like 6 a.m. here, but hoping to have a good time.
I tagged Void, and I was like, any chance you can make it on Tub Takes like 24 hours from now? And he was like, sure. And then I never Googled what time it was for him. He was just like... so really appreciate you coming on so early. We obviously talked about it before.
So where are you?
Not much clue either, man. Not much clue.
God damn it. And then I also was just gonna roll with, Adi and one guest, but Michael was like, do you need one more? And I was like, yeah, definitely. Get in here, Michael. So appreciate you hopping on. Michael, how you doing?
Yeah, thank you. I'm also here, classic kitchen setup as always, and I'm happy to be here.
This is where you record all your stuff from, right? I've been watching the Ranbat series, loving it.
Yeah, it's just compact. I have everything I need right beside me, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. So this week we're going to be talking about still more of the circuit changes. There's been some, drip feeding of it. Thanks, Adi, for mentioning that in the chat. I would have forgotten. But, if you're here now and you won't be able to make it through the rest of the episode, or if you're here now and you're just like, man, I'd actually rather watch this at 1.5 speed. These guys talk so slow. You can watch it on YouTube tomorrow on Adi's channel, CK49. With that though, I'm mentioning that now, Adi, because I remember somebody telling me that at Nats. I was like, they listened to us sped up or something, and I was like, you know what? Fair enough. Like, I love that for like, watching ladder content and stuff too. Just like, I don't know. This is kind of fun.
I don't watch any streams live. I think that I need to watch. I got the YouTube brainworm, and so now I watch everything at like 2x speed or 1.75x speed. And so even Twitch, I'll just go back and watch the VOD at 2x speed. For everyone, for all the streamers I watch.
I feel you on that. So
that's toxic.
That's toxic.
No, I agree.
Talk to chat. I don't need to talk to chat. I just need to. I can skip the boring parts of the stream. You better be entertaining the entire time.
Fair enough.
No, I mostly love it for in-game streams because, as many people know, in-game bores me to tears, and so. But like, I still need to watch it to learn some stuff. Like, what is Japan cooking? We do have Japan here on the country of Australia. We'll be talking about why that's the announcement meme if you don't know. But let's launch into today's topics. So the first thing is registration for Worlds is up. Not much to say about this besides the fact that, if you are bringing your two spectators, they did make some changes with that. I don't know if we talked about that on the show already or not, but you have to register the names of your two spectators when you sign up, and the signups are finally live. So if you're bringing any guests, they have to come with you, ID in hand, when you check in, so that you can get them their spectator passes. They don't really want you to be, just showing up, getting your two spectator passes, and then selling them to anybody that, walked up to you or whatever, I guess. They wanted to, plan a little bit better for how many people they're going to have, I'm assuming. And so, that, I guess that makes sense. Ties into some of the other stuff we've been talking about, but I don't know if there's anything else otherwise noteworthy about this. It's not like you have to submit your team yet. Don't get that twisted or anything. This is just for getting yourself set up, registered, and your spectators too.
I don't think there's a way to. I don't think there's a way to add spectators afterwards. So if you are planning on bringing spectators, or if you're even doing whatever. If you think that might be something that you need spectator passes later on. I know there's a lot of people asking for spectator passes on Twitter or whatnot. If you want to be a nice person, if you want to give one out, right? you should wait, and you should. It's not like there's a rush. I don't know exactly what the deadline is. Does it say what the deadline is to actually fill this form out?
It's probably it's like if they want to plan better, it would not make sense if the deadline is August 15th, like one day before. So I could see them having a deadline like one. It says Thursday, August 15th. Or no, wait.
No. The deadline is August 8th.
August
at 9 p.m.
okay,
Honolulu time.
Okay.
So yeah, they have a week, which means that I would say if you don't know if you're giving out spectator passes or whatnot, you don't have to rush to sign up, but also don't forget to sign up if you're going to Worlds. That would be a big mistake. And they do I think they do use these numbers to figure out for example, how many t-shirts to bring, which they messed up last year. Stuff like that. How many kits to bring. So it is probably worth signing up a little ahead of time to make sure that they don't run out.
Mm-hmm. Especially now, because you don't exactly know, because they don't want to print like 2,000 for like TCG Go, VGC for everything, and then in the end only 1,000 show up because Hawaii is not as easy to get to, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just for logistic purposes, I think. Also, I also have one spectator badge left. Just saying. So if anyone wants
I just happen to be reading the boring text here in the middle, and this is just a funny little side note, but it says a fully charged Nintendo Switch system up to date with the latest firmware and updates and whatever. I recently learned that Rajan lost his Switch charger and just doesn't charge it until he shows up to the event. He does. I thought he was actually downloading the updates as he plugged into the dock and stuff like that, but he says he does it in the hotel. He borrows it from someone, but I find that so amusing. He doesn't even own a Switch charger at this point.
It's just a USB-C cord.
I just wanted to say he definitely has one. You can use every single USB-C.
I think he has USB-C. I don't know. He was just telling me he literally doesn't charge it till he goes to an event, man. I mean, I love that. What I love about this is that you get to see VGC brings in all walks of life, people that literally have no interest in playing any games on their Switch at all, but Pokemon, this is it's the ultimate thinker's game. It is just kind of I mean it's like showing up to a chess tournament with the bare minimum, because a chess tournament you don't have to bring anything, right? They provide all the boards, I'm assuming, right? So but he does have to bring his team. It's a little bit different than that. Anyways, carried away.
What do you think of Brian's question?
That is a good question from George Ampere. Do you guys think that Nuzlockers would get into VGC and cook with it? Been watching run and gun content, seeing the level of detail they have to plan their run. It would be fun to see those players adapting versus their opponents. I definitely think they're slightly different because they're playing around manipulating an AI and stuff like that, and so a little bit more of it's scripted or not, but it does both take intricate levels of planning for sure. And I love that aspect. And I think a lot of run and bunners and Nuzlockers and whatnot would enjoy what VGC brings. I mean, that is just what competitive Pokemon is taking, in game or, playing against the AI and take it to the next level. I don't know. I feel like that they do have some similar skill sets, like team building, planning for everything, worst case scenarios and stuff. That's kind of fun. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they do well from the basic, of course, first the information perspective, right? They're fine with knowing all of the Pokemon, all of the abilities, right, and all of this stuff. But and as well as the level of preparation that's required that for the tournaments and stuff, because team building and all of this, I think it is quite similar. I think the only thing they'd have to sort of adjust for is, like you said, Nuzlocke are sort of more solved, right? When you have more of the PvP sort of thing, there's more of a psychological aspect there that they probably have to adjust to. But overall, I think they adjust well, in my opinion.
Right.
I also think they would do pretty well because especially the latest hard games or hard ROM hacks feature a lot of double battles as well, right? So they know how to play multi-battles. It's not like they just play the ones just playing single battles, and so they already have some experience there. The only thing they probably have to work on is just the psychological aspect, but team building wise, they might be pretty good, or at least that's what I think they would be pretty good. It always depends on the player, right? But generally speaking, I think team building wise they would be pretty good, and playing wise they would be at least decent. They would know what they're doing, but predicting the opponent, they can get used to it pretty quickly, I guess. So I think they have a good shot.
I'd love to see yeah, like it could be fun if there was like some kind of like VGC Nuzlocke collaboration where, you know, like they have to help us Nuzlocke and stuff, because like I've seen a lot of that type of content for other games, and then it's always cool. I'd also love to see a more like, you know, official doubles game like Coliseum, bring that stuff back. That's like one of the main things that could like really bridge the gap between, you know, like the in-game play and VGC. Is like, just imagine like every gym was just one of the most like basic VGC strategies. You face the rain gym, the trick room gym, the setup gym, like Swords Dance plus Follow Me or something. Like, I don't know, just like seeing if you can like use those tools to overcome stuff. Like, I mean, like it would be simple, but like it'd be fun if we could like go back to like having a doubles game, even if it was a side game. Maybe that's what Legends Arceus could be. I don't know, but not Arceus. ZA. What's it called?
Yeah. It's just ZA.
I'm hoping, even though it's always Cope. Let's go ahead and talk about the next thing here. Mentioning this one because Victory Road has a tournament upcoming, and these ones always draw out a pretty good crowd, and so we'll definitely want to, you know, anybody that's going to Worlds is going to be wanting to watch this tournament for the results that it, you know, brings, and, you know, the impact that has on the metagame going into Worlds. This one is going to be held, it looks like it's in a little bit less than 2 weeks, and it's going to be the world structure. So it's going to be using that new structure that, you know, we haven't really gotten a chance to play with yet. And the world structure is the structure we're going to be playing for next season, right? That was in the announcement. Like, that's going to be what they're using at tournaments going forward, right?
Yeah. They do.
Okay.
Honestly, not a big fan, but yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but at least like it's fun to get a demonstration of it here, a little bit of a sneak peek, and see, like, you know, do we like this? Do we like what happens with top cuts? We'll talk a bit more about that when we get to the circuits changes revisited at the end here. But regardless, this is going to be a tournament to watch, a good one to watch, you know, content creators play in, as well as just the results of. Though it's not going to be run through what's the site? Limitless.
Limitless. Nope. It's the BattleFi.
And so it might not be as much data to like literally parse through all of it, but still, you know, you can look at the top teams and figure out how much you know, like stock to put in those results. How much prep?
I think they always. Go ahead, Ali. Sorry.
I said one thing that people do in Limitless Tours, which is not very inconspicuous, is they like to drop before top cut, or they like to just to make sure they're not in that top 8 or top cut part, but they like to test their team out there. This one, if you do that, you actually will in fact not you will not show up because we don't have access to all the data. We don't have access to all the team sheets. And so, yeah,
I think we do because they there's always a website, or like they create a new link for every Victory Road tournament, and they share all the top teams there. At least that's what they did in the last Victory Road tournaments. They also showcase the usage stats in day 1 and day 2, so that's still a thing. So
do you mean on the Victory Road website itself?
Yeah,
they have the teams that make top cut. They don't have the teams that, and maybe they'll have the teams that make day 2 for this one. We'll see about that. But they don't have all the teams, which is some of the cool things about Limitless. Is you can see
not?
everyone.
I think I saw a lot of teams on the last one, like the.
Welcome to the new format. There's a lot of people who top cut.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's true.
Get ready for the 25-person top cut. You're gonna have to get used to it.
Yeah, that number is starting to sound not great. Like I thought it so. No, I don't like it. Anyways, we have a question from Mr. Tashima. How much more prep do I need to put into day 2ing a regional if I was able to 6-3 in IC? It's kind of hard to like quantify exactly, but I don't know. What does anybody have like a better like immediate answer like besides like going to like long form stuff? Like what's like what's the main thing you take to
I have
break
a
that
very
gap
simple
body?
answer.
Go ahead.
It is
You
the
don't.
very simple answer is that there's a ton of variance in every single run. Going 6-3 at an IC, you could have very easily gone 7-2. You could have very easily gone 5-4. Right, that's just how it is. And similarly, you could day two a regional without any more prep, any more practice than you put in for the IC playing at the same level. I think regionals are slightly easier than ICs, not by a lot, but the truth is that just because you are a day two caliber player playing at a day two level doesn't mean you will make day two. And similarly, it means that you can also high roll into day two, not playing at what would be a day two level caliber by hitting your matchups and whatnot. So my biggest advice is don't put too much stock into the results of any individual tournament. Be your best, right? Play to be your best and do your best at the tournament, and then you can find out whether you make day two or not. But there's always going to be some variance. So if you don't make day two, that doesn't mean that you didn't put enough prep in necessarily. Maybe it did. You can always work harder, but it might also just mean that you hit a bad matchup or you got a bad critical hit or whatnot. And similarly, if you do make day two, just keep in mind there's always room to improve as well, right? So
I think the question itself is pretty interesting because it sounds like how much more prep do I need to put into? Sounds like you can prep more, but you don't want to. Like in the end, you can decide for yourself how much you want to prep. And if you say you have more time, then just go for it and try to get better at like you can easily or not easily, but the first thing you should do is figuring out what team you want to use and then just play some games and then you can improve by playing just more games and then adjusting your team on the games you've played, like where the weaknesses are. And obviously, ladder is different from regionals most of the time, but it still helps a lot. So that's the advice I would give.
Yeah, I think the top part of this question is that it wants to quantify like how much more prep do I need. Like the thing is that as you start to get towards the top, I don't know if you're feel like you're there yet, but like the thing is that I've been playing the game for so long. I've had some tournaments where I spent like so many hours prepping to go 2-3 drop, and I've had some tournaments where I would just like change teams last minute and managed to make it all the way to the top cut. Like there are the amount of prep can be misleading. It is not like one for one, equivalent to succeeding, basically. It's all about good, prepping, strong, prepping well, as opposed to like I think that Adi and I are two people who do this a lot. We don't ladder as much as maybe some of our other friends, but we ladder with purpose. Like just to like learn, like laddering instead of to like work on fundamentals, laddering instead of to like perfect ourselves with the team, but more so just like learning what does the team need to do into this matchup. Like okay, I played against a Kyogre team, I probably need to be doing A and B. I'll remember that for what I played in tournament. Even if I lose that game, I can still just say like I've gotten enough practice into X matchup because I remember what went wrong, even though I lost. It's just like hard to exactly quantify because there are just so many different types of processes. But in general, spending more time to just work on fundamentals is probably the main way to like prep more. Quote is to just you can't make mistakes. You can't make mistakes. You want to avoid making mistakes. Like there are obviously you can't have a perfect tournament every single time, but the closer you get to playing flawlessly, the closer you are to eliminating just any source of error in your I guess runs. I don't know. It's like I don't want to put too much pressure on it. But go ahead, Michael. What do you want to say?
Speaking of, shoutouts to my homie Void, who day two the last year's Worlds with playing a team only having like 0 games in and picking up the team 12 hours before the tournament.
This does the
That's
ring a bell.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that just goes to show, right? You can't really say that a certain amount of prep will guarantee you, a result. I think there's kind of two ways you want to look at it, right? Instead of saying like I went 6-3 in this tournament or I made day two or I made top cut, I tend to look at it in two ways, right? The first would be how did I play in the tournament, right? Did I think my play was up to standard? How many mistakes did I make? Overall, do I think I played well or not, right? because I've had like top cuts where I felt I didn't play well at all. I've missed day 2 while feeling I played well. So because it's a very RNG kind of game, right? A lot of variance and stuff. So first of all, yeah, I would look at how did I play. Second, I would look at the team, right? Of course, sometimes if you don't prep, you just gotta like ask a friend for a team, right? That's the your backup option there. But otherwise, if you did do your prep and things didn't go well, you should kind of like look at it as if was it a mistake with my team building? Did I just somehow hit like a ton of bad matchups in a row? But you've got to be honest with yourself there and not make excuses for it. You just got to objectively look at what went wrong or what went right, and you have to be honest with yourself even if you had a good result but you felt like you didn't actually play that well, you got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
So I guess like at the end of the day, what you want to do is you want to try and just play your best every tournament, right? You can't guarantee a result, but over a stretch of a few tournaments, you would expect if you play well in every tournament, you would end up getting some good results for yourself.
Yes.
All right. So I hope there's a couple of different takes on the question that you asked. I think it's a good one, definitely, because especially going into next year's Worlds, people are going to want to level up their play in any way they can because things are going to be getting quite tense. Let's talk about Malaysia, though. Malaysia Nationals was held over this past weekend. We didn't do a Tub Takes proper, so forgot to preview this one. But we do have the results of this one. It was played in Reg G, and it was won by Gary here. Gary using a Shadow Rider team. We do have teams of the top 8 players, and Void, you were in attendance here. What was the tournament structure like? How did want to tell us a bit about it?
Right. So first of all, similar to Japan Nationals, we had a qualifier during the GC. So the top 64 players, highest ranked players from Malaysia, would qualify for the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, it's just straight single elimination. Unlike last year, it was thankfully open team sheet and best of 3. Last year, it was closed team sheet, best of 1 until top 8. Top 8 and top 4 were open team sheet best of 1, and only the finals was best of 3. So at least this one was best of 3 throughout. One kind of weird difference was the team sheets had natures in them as well. So you would know, like timid or modest or jolly. So that was interesting, I guess.
There was
to deal
no like
with.
tricking it with like nature mints, right? Like they were like the actual stat mints.
No. Yes, it was natures. The actual stat. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Another kind of funny thing, right? You mentioned how Raja never doesn't have a Switch charger and all this. I mean, I do have a Switch charger, but I don't, tend to like make sure my Switch is fully charged. But when I went to the Nationals, they did not have docks over there.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully, I did find like a port to charge my Switch, but that was you would think with a limited number of players already, you would be able to repair those docks, but they didn't have them.
I've actually never had us ask this question, but were there younger divisions or is it only masters?
No, so this is the thing. Even seniors, their invites just come out of our invite. So if a senior or junior wanted to play in Worlds, they'd have to play with the masters and qualify as top 8 with the masters.
Simple, right?
Tough.
Do you know if any kids showed up? If any juniors and seniors showed up to this tournament?
Not that I saw. All the kids were like TCG, because TCG does have juniors and seniors.
Got it. Okay.
What? Oh, but that's so weird. It's
yeah. So it says there was 41 players. Is that accurate? It was something like that.
Yes. So out of 64, right? The other thing is that they're pretty bad with like communication. I'm not even sure like how many people like maybe had issues with their account or like maybe they receive like their invite to the nationals on like an old email or something. So it's kind of hard to say why like 41 out of 64 showed up, but that's kind of I think why.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you guys played, Open Team Sheet Plus is what I like to call it. With
Yeah.
you get even extra information. I always like to joke whenever that it's like open nature that it's just like, man, do you want to know my EV spreads too? Like, what else, what are we keeping hidden here at this point? Like, it's just open everything. A little bit silly, but anyways, actually, I want to ask this just as a question because of that. Now, you probably didn't get to practice open nature at all going into the tournament.
Right.
Did this ever have any kind of like interesting implications in your match? Did you ever see something like, oh, that's a weird nature, or oh, I get to do a key different game plan because I saw this nature?
Yeah. For example, I was using Z's Miraidon team, right? Exactly the same as NASC. Like there was one sort of Indeedee Ice Rider team, and I saw he had bold Indeedee, right? So that I immediately knew that from Fairygraph, right? Helping Hand, Volt Switch, Terra from Miraidon would one shot the Indeedee because it was bold.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So obviously, those kind of things do come in handy. You can see obviously if they're timid or not. Like I saw one of my opponents, they're a modest flutter main, so yeah, you already know that you can outspeed it with Chen Pao, you can outspeed it with Miraidon, because my Miraidon was not max speed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it does obviously still help for planning, I guess. But I'm not sure if that's something you'd really want to be there, to be
No,
honest.
I don't think
I
I
think
want it either.
yeah,
I mean,
but
well, I'm a closed team sheet defender, but anyways, Michael, you said
Yeah.
you had something you wanted to
yeah,
say. Go ahead.
I think against Void himself, like open nature kind of was bad for Void himself because, or like it made stuff more interesting because people knew it was timid Miraidon instead of a usual modest Miraidon.
Right.
So they had to respect max speed Miraidon as well. Void said he wasn't max speed, but people probably expected exactly that.
Yep.
Then with Chiampao as well, with Jolly nature. Pokemon, very fast Pokemon. On these, it makes a difference which nature they run. For example, also Zacian Ground, if it's Adamant or Jolly. Shadow Rider could also be. Shadow Rider should always be timid, but could also be modest, right? So on these very fast Pokemon, it makes a huge difference, I think. And Void used two of them with Miraidon and Chiampao.
I mean, you're
Also
mentioning only the
seeing
fast guys, but what about the middle of the road Blood Moon that you see has a modest nature here, and that tells me immediately it's not timid max speed. Even though Tailwind could be an option for Void here, I know that like my Chen Pao, my Flutter Mane, they might still be able to outspeed that Ursaluna, despite it being I know that's only not a guaranteed or anything, but I guess Shadow Rider is the one, right? Shadow Rider guaranteed.
yeah, Shadow Rider or Scarf Urshifu.
Yeah, exactly. Starburst too. So,
yeah, I think these natures are pretty important, and also that the Farigiraf here is, for example, modest and not calm or bold, which is a bit unusual. So, I think you cannot use or you get a bit more punished for using unusual or uncommon natures, but I think in the end it should not make a huge difference to open sheet without natures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do know actually you got to play on stream as well. I think
Right.
just the once, was it right?
Yeah, just once.
Just the once in top 8 when you were knocked out, unfortunately. But yeah, you got your Worlds invite, and you didn't get quite to the round 1 bye travel award section, but I know that you're still in the process of thinking about going. This is the last thing I wanted to mention was that the tournament is held at the end of June, and for people like that were waiting to book after NAIC, that was still feeling pretty late and uncomfortable. This is the latest anybody has had to wait to find out if they were Worlds qualified or not. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say it is pretty tough because especially we're not a particularly high income country. If you compare our like currency to the USD, it's been going down like over the past few years. So the tournament being this late, first of all, a lot of people need to work out their visas, right? There's kind of like some doubt whether it's people who will apply for the visas now, will they get it processed in time or not?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first issue. The second issue is, of course, how late it is. Flight prices have gone up and stuff. We're looking at maybe 1,500 or so, and in Malaysia, that is way more than what most people's monthly salary would be. So that is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the issue we're looking at here. Most of the other Southeast Asian countries are also looking at a similar thing. I was talking to a friend from the Philippines earlier. Their flight prices are looking pretty similar. I think he was telling me that maybe only 3 out of the 8 people who have invites are like looking to go right now.
Mm. Yeah, I don't find that very surprising, given
Yeah.
I mean,
And of
obviously,
course, out of the 3, 2 have TAs, right? So only
that makes
one
sense.
is really looking to book their own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking with
It's tough.
John Hu as well, who was playing in the Japan circuit, saying that he was very strongly thinking about not going if he didn't get the travel award, because it's just it could be very tough to get. I mean, like we've talked about this all year with Hawaii being a pretty hard to get to worlds, and yeah, it's just kind of hard for everyone. But I imagine even harder for these Asian countries, and it's just so troll to have it this late in the game, and then expect people to be able to possibly book flights. I mean, they took forever to announce the dates too, which was just stupid. But the fact that you don't even know if you're going to be worlds qualified until July is just so late in the game.
Like, yeah, the thing is, right, with our circuits, if you look at it, TCG actually has a proper circuit. They have like locals,
Mm-hmm.
they have like a CP ranking and all of this, right? I mean, of course, TCG here has to deal with a lot of other different issues. They have a much bigger player base. I think their nationals comes down to like a lottery or something, when you want to sign up and stuff. So of course they have to deal with a lot of other issues, but it's kind of unfortunate that they could do that for TCG, but they can't sort of make a proper circuit for us.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course, when you have that whole points ranking, you would kind of know, right, if you have an invite at least a few months in advance, if you've done well enough. So you could figure stuff out and book stuff a lot earlier.
Yep.
I was wondering, is it the first time that there was a nationals after NAIC, or did this happen before?
No, I think this has happened before.
I think so.
Wasn't Taiwan nationals after NAIC as well?
Yeah, there was multiple. I think no, one of them was the same, either Hong Kong or Taiwan, and one of them was after. I think Hong Kong was the same weekend as NAIC, I want to say, and Taiwan was after. I could look it up, but.
Okay.
Although it is kind of crazy that this happened 2 weeks after the last other nationals, in I think Taiwan, where even that I know it seems pretty late.
Taiwan
this is exceptionally late.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
They could have technically also made it on 16th June, but they didn't decide to do it. So yeah, sucks for everyone.
Like Reg G. A month and a half, or no, 2 months into its life cycle.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Wow, how silly.
I mean, for those who didn't know, when they initially announced our nationals, they said we would be playing Reg F on the 30th of June.
No.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, yes, but thankfully, I guess after all the support tickets and everything, they did decide to change it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll have to. I don't think they've confirmed anything for next season, if it's going to be the same or not. We're still kind of getting announcements about the 2025 season, I guess, all over. So we'll have to see if any changes come next year.
Do we want to talk?
Well, there was some other good news for Asians, right?
Right, the global challenge changes.
No,
Yeah.
he means why you made the meme.
Oh, the meme.
We will get back to that in a second, but I wanted to ask if we want to talk a bit about the teams, or do we just skip them? Because there was
That's
some.
true. We haven't actually
really
mentioned anything about the teams. Let's go through real quick. So let's start with the winning team. One with a Smeargle, Volcarona, Whimsicott team. It's like Calyrex and the Firewater Grass Boys, but not exactly.
It's interesting to see no Woodhammer on Rillaboom.
True.
And Fiery Dance on support Volcarona.
Now, it takes me back because apparently we ran no Woodhammer on Rillaboom pretty commonly in the Dynamax era, and I was like, huh, wait, really? And then I remembered that if you G-Max Rillaboom, it got access to the, like, super grass move, no matter what grass type move was used. And so Woodhammer was a little bit less necessary, though, of course, if you wanted a strong grass move outside of Terra, you still might run it. But it just was a little more excusable back in the day. Whereas nowadays it feels like you drop Woodhammer and everyone's just like, huh? Big question mark, you know?
Yeah.
So funny.
Also seeing Ice Spinner with terrain is also wild. But the team worked, right? It won it all. And it just showcases how good Shadow Rider is.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, was it a very heavy Miraidon field? But actually, Void was the only Miraidon in Top Cut. Can we call this Top Cut? I don't know. The whole thing being single Olim makes it feel like...
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of tough to say. I guess they sort of say top 8 is Top Cut because that's where you get your invite, right? So,
fair.
I don't know.
Actually, you know what? That still makes it sound accurate to calling it Top Cut to, you know, like basically placing at the tournament.
Right.
Okay. Some of the other teams, though, it won over Zamazenta Balance in the runner-up. This one, I was a bit nervous clicking it because I was like, these teams always end up running Iron Defense, and I think Iron Defense is stupid. But no, it's Wide Guard. It's double Wide Guard with the choice band, and so this looks right. It's
the GM power set is interesting.
Let's see. It's got what is interesting? Oh well, it's got... I was like, what's interesting about this?
Probably an error from the website.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It takes a second. I was like, no, Genpal runs Sacred Sword, Ice Spinner, and Sacred Sword. It definitely runs those moves. Like, I've got no questions.
Also, once again, Ice Spinner with grassy terrain on the team. They just don't want to keep their own terrain, it feels like.
I don't want to risk missing, I guess. Don't want to have a chance to flinch. I don't know. Ice Spinner is like... I can't say this to anybody. I can't say this with Michael in the call. Because I was going to say, Ice Spinner is like one of the most high variance moves in the game. And then I'm, you know, of course, speaking to Mr. World's runner-up here, who felt that move. Icicle Crash, yeah. Yeah, you felt that move firsthand. That move is crazy RNG.
It is. It's insane. I would still prefer it, even if there's the 10% mischance. Ice Spinner is fair if you want to remove opponent's terrain, like electric terrain, grassy terrain, Psy terrain. But removing your own terrain, especially if you want choice band Rillaboom, is a bit sus to me. But once again, they made it this far, so it's just interesting to see these anti-synergies.
Okay,
but,
a crazy anti-synergy I saw in Ladder during one of my streams was, it's been around, the Iron Treads running Steel Roller, and like they can get rid of the electric terrain. Honestly, for Miraidon, I feel like it's actually relatively helpful. I don't know how often this comes up for these Rillaboom teams, but Rillaboom is a Pokemon that pivots around a lot too. Miraidon is a Pokemon that pivots around a lot, and you can kind of clear away the electric terrain so that Miraidon can switch in and set it up again. And it kind of gives Miraidon almost like a extended duration of, you know, it's a terrain extender. Not to reference the actual item that never gets used, but yeah, like it's a cool way to extend terrain. So, you know, that's something these teams do have available to them too, is that, you know, they can switch out their Rillaboom, Ice Spinner away the grassy terrain, and then bring it back in to have 5 more turns instead of, you know, losing grassy terrain on a key turn when you needed to glide a 1 HP Pokemon or something.
And more than that, I also just think that as the metagame centralizes, you're allowed to put more anti-synergy on your team if you know that it is to counter a specific team or a specific archetype that you expect to see a lot of. Right, and so it does seem weird that there is Scarf, Ice Spinner, Urshifu on the team that has Rillaboom, but more so than the Genpao on the Zamazenta team. But the you know, Ice Spinner, Urshifu on the Calyrex team is like, that's just fine because it's not always going to be next to your Rillaboom, and you are gonna maybe part of your Miraidon game plan is clicking Ice Spinner Calm Mind into it just to be very conservative. Or maybe you want to click Ice Spin or Spore, right? And you're not going to bring them together. And in a metagame where you know kind of what you're going to face, you can make those team choices more consistently. Whereas at Indianapolis regionals, if you were to put that on your team, I would look at you and say, "What are you doing?" At even Los Angeles regionals, I wouldn't want to put anti-synergies on my team. But now that we know what's good, you can kind of do a little more wacky stuff to counter what's good. And I can't believe, Alex, that you've skipped the base Sashin team, which is super interesting. Although I do love Compe as well.
Okay. I skipped it because I'm sorry to say, Adi, your metagame knowledge is failing.
There's nothing interesting on
it's
this.
Just Grant's
I feel like.
What? It's Grant's team. Was he Terra Ghost, Terra Blast, Reggie Drago?
Yes, he was.
What? Oh shit! All right.
And Terra Ground, Terra Blast Station. So yeah, sorry, Adi. We've already covered this one. You're a little late to the party. So yeah, I skipped that one. Do you want to talk about Brandon's team? Because Brandon's team is quite crazy. So it has this. He has this thing called. We've been trying to get the name going, the Alex Underhill. But basically, the Alex Underhill is when you have Fake Out live next to your Urshifu, so that you can fake out their Pokemon, and then Unseen Fist allows you to hit through the Protect. So if you ever see that situation, just know that that's the Alex Underhill. But anyways, I've actually never done it at a tournament, but I was the one that pioneered it. Now the
Comfy,
and
I was the one who
the Comfy team is so weird again, because it has Terra Normal in DD. It got a very interesting Urshifu Terra as well with Terra Fire on Focus Sash.
Is Terra Normal in DD's like default Terra on accident or no?
It has to be, right?
I don't know if it's a normal Psychic or Psychic Normal.
I think it's normal Psychic. I'm pretty sure it's normal Psychic.
Got it. Okay.
This has to be I need to save my Terra shards. I never Terra my DD.
I'm pretty sure that's what
Clam Terrapagos. Yeah. I know in the early meta some people went to Clam Terrapagos, but it's only helpful against Instant, right? Because against Icy Wind, Covered Cloak helps just as well. And yeah, I think you don't need Cloak that necessarily if you have Psychic Terrain anyways, but you can remove a Psychic Terrain with Terra. A Fake Out would have been so heat on the DD, not gonna lie.
I've been saying this. I agree. Fake Out in DD with Terrapagos sounds so heat, because are you supposed to cover for that? No! Like, you just sound like an insane person, but like, then they just, because what if you just click Fake Out to counter it and they didn't that? You're the biggest idiot in the world. So I think Fake Out in DD with Terrapagos. After seeing that on Nils' team, I was really hoping somebody would try to do that. But anyways, last team I want to mention is the. Sorry, Boyd, we don't have anything to say about your team. You did just kind of
not my team anyway.
Right. Anyways, you did have a higher finish than Z, though. Of course, One of you did make it to the top 8. Unfortunate. Anyways, let's talk about Jamie's team really quick here, because also Kevin's team at the bottom there is just kind of a rehash. But this team had King Gambit, a Pokemon that's kind of been left on the wayside lately. I don't actually know. Let's take a quick look at NAIC. What do you think the highest King Gambit finish is? Does anybody know?
And my guess is it surely made top 64, right?
Surely. Let's scroll down. Nope, not even there. Top 128 is its peak.
No day 2, or did it make day 2?
No,
it didn't
no
make
day 2. Yeah, it was a Miraidon team. But anyways, yeah. King Gambit not been the hottest as of late. Despite seeming like a decent Pokemon going in, I don't know, like having a decent matchup into both of the horses. And right now it still seems like something that could be good into Calyrex Shadow, because it's like, you can hit those Terra Fairies with Iron Head, you can hit them quadruple super effective, but setting that up can be easier said than done, I guess. And so...
Also, the problem is that every supporting Pokemon kind of takes out King Gambit, because Amoonguss can spoil it or Rage Powder it away. And we've got Urshifu on all these teams as well, so you have to Terra there, and if you Terra, you die to Astral Barrage. Like something, how do you cover close combat? Terra Fairy Astral Barrage, because you are so slow, you cannot cover it, you cannot protect. Like you can go for Terra Ghost Protect, right? But that's not the point, right?
So King Gambit aside, Michael, when you find the answer to beating Astral Barrage plus close combat, let me know, because that. Oh wait, no, don't mention Zoroark. By the way, I've already thought about Zoroark. We've already talked about Zoroark. Zoroark Asui does not count. I want a Pokemon with stats. That's good. Anyways,
okay, but I gotta talk about.
What do you gotta talk about?
I gotta talk about the fact that this is open nature, which means that this timid Ursaluna is not catching anyone off guard, which I think is crazy.
Yeah, and the Tailwind Pelipper here trying to, sneak it away, like make it way faster than it's supposed to be, but
I love Tailwind teams, honestly, but this looks not like a common Tailwind team.
There's a good chance that quite a few of these guys did not know it was going to be open nature.
That's fair. Good take. Take. Not like you said, the communications were pretty rough. Okie dokie does well in the combo. That's fair.
Most of us basically sort of guessed, right? Because we knew that from previous nationals were also open nature. I think Singapore was as well, or the other Asian ones. But whoever didn't follow that news, probably wouldn't know.
Yeah. Not every single person is keeping up with every single other tournament and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Wait,
all right,
Alex, you want to run? I found the answer to your question. Do you want to run Shadow Ball and DD? That would do it.
Okay. Yes.
Shadow Ball Psychic. Just put choice specs on it. It'll cover everything.
Yeah. Scare them into terroring, and then you know what?
If that's your point, you can just run a choice scarf Pokemon with a ghost type move. No.
Yeah, it's my Mail and DD. What's the problem?
Yeah, choice scarf, Mail and DD. That one actually gets to run Expanding Force too.
E-Force S-Ball Trick sounds good.
Okay.
And it gets to run Tricker, right?
Let's get back to the last topic of the day here. This is just the circuit changes, and we've been alluding to some of the things here. We'll talk about the new thing here to start it, and then we'll kind of give some more informed takes. We did the news just came out takes, and Adi said the stupidest stuff ever, and so everyone in the YouTube comments had to let him know that he was an idiot for saying his day one minute zero thoughts. And so
You were also a bit your bad your take was also that the changes were bad, right? I haven't watched it.
Fake fan detected.
Right?
No, I don't remember exactly what I said because this was an instant reaction. I will say that. But that being said, if you disagree with any of our takes, feel free to leave a comment down below.
Of course, I would love for people to disagree.
Yes, and then someone will start an argument in the comments, I hope. It was very funny to read the multiple arguments that were happening about circuit structure in the comment section.
Right. I feel that.
But yeah, let's talk about the newest changes, right? So we just got. Are you talking about the
Yoko
Japan thing? Yeah. So we recently found out that, and this was thanks to Yoko Clover submitting a support ticket, that not only can players earn a Worlds invite by winning in regional or getting top 4 at an IC, but also it's not just limited to players who play in TPCI regions. So now, if you live in Asia, you can also, or anywhere in the world for that matter, you can live in Africa. We talked about Inosh living in Israel and having to win a regional to get his invite. Anyone can go to a regional or a top 4 at an IC and win a Worlds invite, which means that essentially, of course, everyone's been talking about this the last couple of days. I would expect to see a decent number of Japanese players at Australian regionals and at all the internets we have trying to get an invite by skipping some steps, maybe in Japan, having a chance to compete at some of the biggest events in the world. So yeah, especially Australian regionals, it would not shock me to see a lot of Asian players attend.
That's gonna be wild,
right? I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the people, and so yeah, that is what inspired the meme. Is that Oceania players are already kind of dooming another bad change for Australia. And I'm I'm sorry guys, but also just win. I would be I would be excited to see Japanese players at my events. Just because it'd be fun to I don't know. I love I play for the challenge. I don't want the game to be easy. Anyways,
Go ahead, Floyd.
Right.
how many
It
regionals did
doesn't
Australia have
really
last year?
take
Like 3? Boyd, go ahead.
it doesn't really take away from their 20 slots anyway, right? It just takes the auto invites. Maybe if they actually manage to win it all, which is, you know,
Anyway,
kinda fun.
also take away championship points, right?
I guess
Because
they do just kind
one
of
player
evaporate.
or even more. Like imagine in the top cut there
in
are
previous
6.
seasons, right? In previous
Seven.
seasons, if you take away the championship points, that can mean less people from that region get an invite, right? Because not as many people might hit the CP bar. But here it's going to be 20 anyway, no matter what, right?
But it can affect
I feel like it's like, but it does
someone.
obviously affect. Yeah, absolutely.
The way it affects people is, and I don't know if we've ever got confirmation on, if you win a regional and you are top 20 in Australia or top 75 in North America, do you get taken out of the rankings? I don't know if
we did.
Right.
we do. We got confirmation on that?
So
Yeah.
so you in the end it will be like top 85 Americans, top 85 Europeans, something along that line. And
optimistic.
I think it's more like top 85 Americans, maybe top like 80 Europeans. Michael, we're coming for
What
your
do you
invites
mean?
over
I
there.
think
We're coming for
Europeans
yours.
will have more top 4 finishes than you have more regionals, but we will have more internet top 4s.
Yeah, so I was talking about this, and like we are already at a major advantage because we have more regionals, and so it really does come down to like that. I think EU versus NA is like inevitable. They're always fucking like fighting each other, and so the fact that we have an even number of invites, you know, top 75, means that these auto invites up for grabs is like this bragging, like oh my god, it's nuts. I'm so excited for that aspect of it because it's gonna get like really annoying. Like I don't have that much pride. I've talked about this. Like I don't care about NA that much, but when it comes to NA versus EU, I gotta bat for the home team. I'm sorry. Like god damn it.
No.
We need the meme format that's like NA, EU, and then Japan is overlooking us. It's like ready to take all of our auto invites.
Do you think we will European and North American, or maybe also Latin American regionals and special events be affected by this recent change, or probably not that much, right? Maybe like 1 to 3
I think you
players.
can see people invading. I think you can see people going to the tournaments that are out of region a bit more often.
So one thing that is maybe a little overlooked that we didn't really touch on is that it sounds like all special events will get an auto invite, not just European ones now.
Yes.
Which means that I absolutely expect more people to invade Latin America as a result of the circuit changes, not necessarily from Japan. I don't think that it makes sense to fly from, or from Asia. It doesn't make sense to fly from Malaysia to Brazil necessarily for a regional when there are some in Australia or some in Los Angeles or California. But yeah, like I have kids. There is for example, there's a special event in Argentina the week before LAIC. I would strongly consider going to that if I was going to LAIC, because it's just another shot at a Worlds invite, and with the top 75 bar, you get your points where you can. Especially, again, I said this at the live stream, it's not that LATAM players are worse than NA players, they're just fewer of them. And that means that if you get points at an event, you're getting more points at an event. It's easier to get top 16 at a LATAM special event than it is to get to one in NA. So if you're trying to win an event, you can win your invite right there. Or you can also rack up a ton of points that one trip. And so I absolutely expect to see a ton of people invading LATAM events this year, even if they're just special events.
And so I was kind of reading something, sorry, Adi, but special events do reward the same amount of championship points as regionals still?
They do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
They do.
They're not like less. They're just no prize money.
I earned my 2019 Worlds invite by flying to Cancun and getting top 8 at a 17-player special event. So yeah, they give out the same number of points. I got 100 points for that.
So I think now is probably the time to talk about how everyone's mentioning, like, you know, this is going to be like a Wallet Warrior season, or like it's not, because, you know, there's like the championship points payouts are very top heavy. And I do enjoy that aspect, at least a little bit. I know that like it can be very annoying. I'll probably come to hate it at a certain point, but like, you know, that what was it, like 120 point gap between top 8 and top 16 for regionals?
Yeah, that made me mad.
That seems crazy, only because of the tournament structure. Like, I'd be a little more into it if it was like, you know, like the thing is that you're never getting denied these points by bubbling or anything. Bubbling is now gone, and I think that the fact that is like you always have a match in front of you that you could have won to decide that, is a good change. Like you ultimately lose to get knocked out in this new system. But yeah,
you can still bubble for more or less CP, right? For top 16, top
so,
32,
yes.
top 64. So it's just for top cut. And basically, it still means that I think every time, if you have or not every time, but most of the time, if you have a first seed, I think you're guaranteed in top 8, right? It's not very likely that there are more than 15 players having it's not that likely that the 16th player has the same record as the 8th player, right? So if you win out, you don't get punished, at least.
There would have been 27 players who made top cut at NAIC.
Mm-hmm.
We are going. There are. It is going to be usually. I think when we ran the numbers, we at North American regionals, which normally have 500 to 700 players, 500 800 players. You were looking at about a 18 to 25 player top cut at most of our regionals.
Never mind. Then.
So we are
it
cutting
makes
to
even less sense.
Yes, it's. We literally had top 32 cut at events. Literally, I said this on Tub Takes last week, fake Tub Takes, and Rajan came in and said the exact same thing. We've already done 10-round regionals with top 32 cut. We know that is an awful structure. Everyone hated it. Why are we going back to it? It's the exact same thing. It is basically the same thing.
Is it just 11 rounds with top 32, basically? And
it is 10 rounds unless we hit a certain number of players, at which point it hits 11 rounds.
I thought 11 was our
so
most
it could be
common
either.
Number.
512 is the kicker. So for American regionals, I think it's always 11.
I thought
it's 513.
It's 513, and I know we had a couple regionals that are below that. I think most of them have been a little above that, but we've been in the 400s for a couple of these regionals too.
Oh, here we go. Wait, that's like the point threshold for day 2. I don't know. I thought it was 8 rounds plus 3 rounds is going to be the most common, so that's 11. It's not to defeat your point at all, though, Adi. Like, it is basically the same, and I do think that the tweet that Roshan put out complaining about it, or just like, everybody that's saying it is like, we probably wanted one more round on that second day, because like, as it's been pointed out, one more round on that second day will usually cut out a power of 2 on that top X, top 16, top 8, or whatever. And so you don't get more... The length of the day doesn't change, You're still playing the same number of rounds of games where everybody, plays their games at the same time. Whether they call it top cut or they're calling it the last round of Swiss, it doesn't matter. The length of the day stays the same, but now you don't have this... top 25, like that number is something in the 20s. If you ever just say a top 20 something, that number just gives me the ick. Like, it's just like, oh, this sounds so rough. Like, when I was hearing that it was going to be this new structure and I didn't know the math worked out this way, I thought it was usually going to be between 8 and 16, and like, I was fine with basically top 8 plus, nobody bubbles, and those top 16 players, some of them are in buys, and I think rewarding strength of schedule is still good. I think that that's like not something that should be completely discounted. It's like, if you fight a bunch of hard people and I fight a bunch of guys that went 2-5, like, I think that you earning a buy and me not sounds reasonable. So that sounds okay to me. But when it's like top 25 and like, there's just way too many people. You have to play into a top 16 and then play top 16 from there. It just, why couldn't we have just done one more round of Swiss? Yeah.
So honestly, I can explain it too.
Okay. Good.
And that is because if you look at it, they tried to, it looks like, standardize the format across VGC, TCG, and I think Pokemon Go as well. And I think Pokemon Go, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Now, Pokemon Go is just double elimination, I think.
Is it? Oh, I thought they updated the structure for Pokemon Go as well. But regardless, they really, TCG and VGC are the primary points where TCG has a real problem where tournaments go too long, right? A round takes like 70, 75 minutes, and they have to play 9 rounds day 1, and then they play the full 6 rounds day 2 on top of top cut. And you can always see them, our long events, like the Los Angeles event that had a big delay, was still ending around the same time TCG was ending. Right, like that's just how it is. Because TCG, and so they needed to cut down on the number of rounds in TCG tournaments. I think that's a reasonable thing for them to have to do. because they wanted to standardize the format. That was the part that that messes this up, is because TCG the asymmetric cut in TCG matters so much less. They have draws, so the number of points you get, usually like one person bubbles into cut or something like that, it's usually pretty set, and everyone knows kind of what the point threshold is going to the last round. I don't know if there's IDs or not, intentional draws or not, but like it makes it so the math works out a lot more. TCG, I would expect to see, 11, 12, 13 player top cuts most of the time, as you would hope for. But because VG does not have draws, the more players aggregate into the same record, and VGC gets done quicker. So you can play more rounds in a day very reasonably. We could have had a structure that has more rounds than TCG, gets done at the same time, and is, I think, fairer for the competitors. But and just a better structure, more competitive, whatever you want to call it. But because they wanted to keep the structure the same, maybe it's because the tool that they use to run these tournaments or whatever, I don't know exactly what logistical reason they had for it, but because they tried to make the structure the same, they kind of screwed us over a little bit.
Yeah, there are two things I want to mention. And this is, it's just, imagine you're on day 2, you go to your venue on 9 a.m. and you can already leave at 10 a.m. This is just what I don't like, because it doesn't feel like a day 2 then, right? Because you're done after an hour. And it's not unlikely to get less than 512. With 3 rounds, it's a little better, but you are still finished in about 2 hours. And also, as I said, resistance will still be a thing for maybe not top 16, but top 32, top 64, right? And if they say it's the same thing as this season, where only day 2 resistance matters, then you will have a lot of time where it goes down to opponent, and it's also not super unlikely that the opponent win rate is the same if you just play 2 rounds. And then I think it happened in TCG once. It's completely random who gets in, right? And this can happen even more often now with just 2 or 3 rounds. But
so do we not know if the second day is a new day of Swiss, or if ever? Oh wait, no, we do know. I think it said that you have to have a certain number of points to enter the second day. So it is essentially a day 2. Does that mean that I could play somebody in my first 8 and then play them again in my next 3 and then again in top cut? Like,
I don't think so. I am pretty sure that they are making resistance go over the course of a tournament now. This change wouldn't make much sense if they didn't, but also when has play Pokemon ever made sense, right? So.
Right. Every time you think.
But regarding Alex's question, I think because if you go undefeated in the first day, then you haven't played against someone else in day 2. So, and if you get like 8-0 in day 1 and you're the only 8-0, you will definitely face a 7-1 who you haven't faced so far. At least that's what I think. So I'm pretty sure that you won't face the same person in day 1 and day 2. It's possible to face the same person in day 2 and cut, or day 1 and cut, but not in day 1 and day 2. They will avoid that. I'm 99% sure.
Mm-hmm. So wait, where was I in this? Oh yeah, so I haven't got to mention my stupid take. I was talking to Audi beforehand. We gotta have some dumb takes, the ones that get people talking. But this one, so people we were talking about Wallet Warriors and how, like, they're strengthened but weakened. Like we're gonna have to ultimately see how the season shakes out. I'm not convinced one way or the other that it's a format that rewards people for wallet warrioring, or for those that don't know, it just means attending a lot of the tournaments because you are more financially blessed than the next person. Now, I think that the way to circumvent this is to have 2 bars. Everyone's been talking about this 2-bar system, but you probably haven't heard this one. What if one of the bars was not really a bar, but the top 75 system? But we bring back the other bar. This bar is a play point bar. Whoever has the most, like a certain number of play points, they can get Worlds invites too. So we'll still, reward those people for putting all that money into TPCI's pockets by attending every event and, playing so much, but yeah, the people that are earning the most points are the ones that get that top 75 invite. It's just, the people that they also have their route to Worlds. It just involves, playing every single tournament to get, a certain number of play points, an absurd number of play points.
I mean, it sounds interesting, but I think that's beside the point.
It was supposed to be bad. Don't worry, Michael.
I've got ideas that are the same vein. I think that Pokemon really isn't pay to win enough. I mean, we're not paying TPCI nearly enough to go to Worlds, so we really should. What if you get championship points, a random number of championship points from each booster pack that you opened? You to open up the booster pack, you get the code card. You plug it into your Play Pokemon account, and you say, "Oh, congrats, you got 2 championship points." But sometimes, hey, it's just like pulling a holo. Maybe you pull 20 championship points from this booster pack. There's a best finish limit of 6. Don't worry. So it's only your top 6 booster packs that count. But you better buy a bunch of booster packs, because otherwise, how are you going to get that 120 points?
That sounds dope.
I'm in. So, can I earn these from the cards that I earn from the tournament? Can I open I could either sell the just pull the 500 point card. It says birds. Birds, if you pull that, you have to fucking hide it, dude. They're gonna kill you for it, man. They're gonna be hunting you down.
You can sell its 500 point card, but you cannot sell these, right?
500 point card. Oh god, no!
It's time for an auction. Oh no!
Auction, no!
How high would a 500 point card go? That would be interesting.
Oh god, Adi, you were not thinking hard enough when you capped it at 20, bro. You need to fucking think bigger. Oh, you don't know that's a 500 point card, so you plug it into your account now? Well, no, I think I want to remove that system. I want to reel it back to this much funnier system.
My actual take, the one that I posted on Twitter a week ago, was that I really do think that you are alienating the middle class. I think that, okay, let me start with this. 75 Worlds invites per region is totally fine. Just get a little back on topic. I think it's totally okay. I think that Worlds was a very disproportionate amount of representation across regions. And it didn't make much sense that North American players were getting so many Worlds invites just because we had access to so many locals, and that, for example, like that, whereas Japan was capped at 64. And I think that it is a more fair Worlds if you have the same number of players per region. It really is silly that Japan's going to have 64 players at Worlds and North America might have 250 or whatever. But that being said, I don't like the way that they are allocating it. I think that the bar, the way that they're doing it is very is a little toxic, and I do think it alienates a lot of players. And I think that the better system that doesn't alienate players and makes it less toxic is by providing a consolation prize to people who just missed out on that top 75. And so my proposed system that still awards 76 Worlds invites now is you have the top 64 players, just like Japan, make it to Worlds. And then the next 64 players get to play in a big, let's call it a big double elim tournament on one day. It can either be Players' Cup style or it can be in person as an LCQ right before Worlds, where the top 12 players from that pool out of 64 make it to Worlds. And so now all of a sudden 128 players are in contention. Getting into the top 128 is way, way easier to do. And so you can either be a mediocre player who grinds a lot, or you can be a good player who half-asses it, one of the two. But you should be able to get into that top 128. And then you can play for your one, try to earn it. Or if you just barely miss out on that top 64, if you're 65th, 66th, whatever, at least you have a consolation prize. At least you have a chance. And also because some people won't show up or whatever, the 65th, 66th, 67th player are very likely to get buys as well. So I think that's a system that basically allows more people to feel like they are in the competition, will incentivize more people to go to locals, more people to go to regionals, while also still rewarding the same number of Worlds invites. And I think that's really what they should have been looking for when they were constructing the system.
What do you think about the take that they should have just made a CP bar and made the math on their own, where it's about 75 players? Because people say they would rather have a 1,100 CP bar than having top 75.
Yeah, because the bar is going to be higher than 1,100. Like that's yeah, it's really hard to estimate a bar. More people will get to a bar no matter what. If you set it at, you have to set it at 1,400 for there to be 75 NA players, something like that. Something crazy.
Are you sure? I'm not.
Nails and I were doing the math, and 75 players will. The 75th player will probably have about 1,300, 1,200 to 1,300 CP in North America. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. And then on top of that, if the bar is there and you know what the bar is, you're probably you're going to incentivize more players to go for it. So bars will be pretty high. I don't think 1,100 would be high enough.
Yeah, I mean I can see it, but like the points being made, I think they all make sense, but they are just how do I say it? They are sometimes not really thought through. But your new idea would have been pretty sick. Now that I think about it,
that one's pretty cool. I do like it.
Yeah.
Jimmy mentioned in the chat, we are looking forward to sharing this text here that people are talking about. We are looking forward to sharing more about a championship point season reward program for trainers who show great dedication to the Play Pokemon program, which will operate similar to the fixed CP threshold from recent years. I've seen a lot of jokes about this one. Mine was like, 10% off the Play Pokemon store, or the Pokemon Center store. This also is kind of what inspired me to say we should have a play point bar, but this is a bit of a weird one. I don't know what they're trying to say here, but I don't know. There's a lot of jokes, there's a lot of theorying, but ultimately we're gonna have to wait to.
I don't think you can get invites based on your play Pokemon points, but it sounds a bit like that. I agree.
Yeah. Man, what would it be? What if there's just No, I just literally don't know. Literally,
maybe it sounds like maybe you get 50 CP every 20 play Pokemon points because it says it's a championship points season reward program, right? So maybe you can gain a bit of CP. I don't know. It's based on how it's phrased. I'm
down. So if you get a certain number of play points, you can convert those into championship points. So 3, every 10 play points, it's you can make that one. You can make that 30 championship points or something. Oh, I'm down. So then we can really incentivize those Wall of Warriors. Let's go.
So yeah, Jimmy says non-cash, non-CP prizes for VGC players has always been a hard thing to figure out, and that is the real the crux of the problem. Is the problem why VGC players don't really play inside events, right? It's just hard to give out stuff to VGC players. I think there could be some cool stuff, but I think that giving out cool stuff to people outside of the top 64 or top 75, is harder to do. I think what we might see and what I've been advocating for is they don't want you to crack that top 75 and kind of stop playing either. They want you to keep pushing you to go to events. And so I think it would be cool to see. So Justin has it. For every 100 championship points, you receive a code for one random Urban Mystica. I was going to say for every 100 championship points, you get something additional, right? And so my proposal way back in the day was you get a buy at round 1 Worlds if you missed day 2 Worlds for every 100 championship points you get over the bar. That's not going to quite pan out in the same way now. But yeah, obviously not now, not anymore. No, day 2. But I think that you might see. I think that we're more likely to see rewards for people who are in the top 8, top 16, top 25, stuff like that, rather than rewards for people who are 76th. I think they're still going to be shit out of luck.
Retta Road, to answer your question, Jimmy already mentioned it, but basically they are just participation points. You get different amounts depending on the level of the event, but you get 1 play point for playing at a local, just guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Should there be, let's say it's the 10 every 10 play points you get 30 CP. Should there be a best finish limit for play points as well? Because
it was kind of a joke suggestion. I'm sorry, Michael. I don't actually know. I keep bringing up play points because it's the easiest way to just convert money spent into a tangible benefit. You just get them by playing a ton. And that's ultimately what the Wall Warriors are. So I don't actually think that we should be using them. By the way, I didn't finish the explanation. It's like
I'm
32
also
regionals
not.
to 5 internets.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
pro against that idea. Like I'm also opposed, but if it is a thing, it would be funny if there was no bar and then literally the guy sitting in the perfect position, just attending 6 locals per weekend or like 10 locals per week, getting 50 CP, and then in the end, just by going to the locals, getting the invite. The local warriors are back, but in a different way.
I want to say that leagues, you get play points. Not 100% sure about this. I think you get play points from attending leagues that don't award championship points as well. If
That's
they're
fair.
official
That's
leagues. Because I want to say that's true. I know they pop up on your Play Pokemon page. So if that's the case, then obviously, honestly, still not the worst thing in that you're incentivizing people to go to locals. The problem is people will cheat the system, right? People will not show up, but they'll have their friends who are TOs do stuff. Like I know that was happening a little more in the past when it was less regulated. Part of the reason why they made it so only like leagues can host events is because they wanted to regulate stuff exactly like that happening for championship points. But yeah, for play points, for play points that you can earn from non-championship point earning events, that is where I think the problem really lies.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Then we already mentioned this earlier, but there's going to be they changed the point payouts for the global challenge, which is pretty nice to see. They are also going to be doing more of them, they said, which I don't know if that means there's going to be 6 of them in the same span that they did 3, like they did in the beginning of the year, the early half of the year, or if they're going to spread them out more evenly, every like 2 months.
But then if they do it more evenly, then we probably the first one would already be this year. So I would be pretty. I would be down, but
that'd be cool to see.
Doesn't make sense to speculate right now. Just
wait. 2019, they spread them out.
I will say,
okay, yeah.
I had so much fun playing the GCs, just playing best of 1 stuff, streaming them. They were always a great time. So I'm very excited to see more GCs. I just think playing best of 1 can be a lot of fun if you're in the right mindset for it. And so yeah, I'm really excited to see more of these.
I'm in the mindset that I want to earn 170 championship points. Adi, does that sound healthy? No, I'm not one of those people either. I'm not one of those people that is like, oh, these are so toxic. These are the worst things ever. Like, they're just different. Like, you have to go into it with a different mindset. Because, like, if you lose to cheese, like, maybe you should have been cheesing harder yourself. If you lose to getting unlucky, well, I don't know, force them to get unlucky. I remember reading some team reports that was like, I was spamming Blizzard and Rock Slide so that if I was ever in a bad spot, I could pray. And it's like, yeah, that's fire. I love this. Like, it's just like, it's a kind of like a no holds barred like type of competition where it's just like you are supposed to. It doesn't reward the fairest. It rewards the best, the creative, the crazy. Like, I don't know. I love that.
And I also like that you, with a new system, kind of save the local players a bit, because I already said it before the stream started, that if you max out your league challenge and league cups and you have 3 good global challenges, then you maybe just have to attend 1 internets and 2 regionals with a mediocre internets finish and 2 good regional finishes, and then you might get there to the top 20, top 75 free shot.
You're saying you don't need to travel as much for a Worlds invite. There's alternate.
Yeah,
paths.
Exactly.
I do like that.
And so they didn't completely kill the local scene, because I would say global challenges kind of count towards the local scene, because it obviously you don't have these in-person tournaments, but you can still play them at home, so you don't have to drive anywhere or fly anywhere. So yeah, that's the point I wanted to make. Talking is tough.
We also get more cards. That's a kind of a mild thing, right? But we get like more cards. It's solid,
I said this last week. I think that more cards, really, really nice. It felt really bad getting top 32 with the same record as someone who had top 16, and seeing them get like half a booster box and me get nothing. That was just a part of the system previously. Now it is sort of going away. but only sort of because you could still make top cut, finish top 32, and get what is that, 15, 18 packs of cards? Or no, it's a little more than that. Okay, actually, it's a decent number of cards you get, but it's not the same as getting the 750 because you lost a single elim match. Even
it's
if
also
you
kind of funny that in top 8 it just stops going up. Like, I don't really care. Like, you are playing for plenty of other stakes at that point. There's glory, championship points, money, like everything beyond that. But like, the cards just stop going up. I don't know. It's just like, it's such a funny thing to finally see. They're just like, yeah, if you make top 8, like, you know, we got our packs set aside for you. They're already set. Like, I don't know. But I do like that you can get boxes.
How many boxes did you want to put in your suitcase on your way back home?
if it did just keep going up at the rate it was going up, oh god.
But it's also interesting to see the difference in top 32 between less than 257 players and starting at 257 players. 18 to 72 is a huge difference, but I overall like that, and as long as you make top cut, you got 2 booster boxes or 2 displays saved, right? Because at least in the North American and European regionals, I'm talking about these because they are the main way to look at, I think, the main audience. I'm interested to see if also special events will award booster boxes. I don't know. They don't award money, but do special events give booster boxes? They do, right?
You are the European. You have to answer that, man.
Because and wait, Bologna was a special event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bologna gave out booster boxes. So that's also a thing for Latin American special events then, I think, because if you get into top 8, you get they will have less players, obviously, but you still get free booster boxes. You don't get prize money, to be fair, but you get free booster boxes. So it's way better than just getting 1 as last year. Or 2. I think the winner got 2, but now with a new system, even with a less record, you can at least gain something or gain more than last year.
I think I only had 2 takes left here in this little thing that I was gonna make into a tweet, but decided it was literally like, you know, I woke up too late to even tweet out any takes. Like, it was just like all the takes were fired off so immediately. They're pretty small. The first one is that, like, are we still gonna call them PCs and MSSs? Like, I just cannot be bothered to call them LCs and LCs or L cups and L challenges. That part's pretty stupid.
They call them cups and challenges in TCG.
Challenges. I guess cups and challenges sounds all right. It's just like shorthand. I loved having our abbreviations. They were so short.
Cups and we will still call them PCs and mid-seasons.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially in the transition year, of course.
No, I'm not stopping. They're always going to be PCs. They're always going to be mid-seasons. We had I'll tell a story. My undergrad, we had a building that got renamed, I guess, like maybe 5 or 6 years before I got there, and people still called it by the old name. So yeah, just like, yeah, no, you never stop calling things. Even like the Staples Center is still the Staples Center and not the Crypt or whatever. So yeah, no, we're the old heads. Twitter, exactly. We're never ever changing for PCs and mid-seasons. I'm always going to call it that. I'm sure the newer players are going to call them cups and challenges, but yeah, I don't think that's ever going to be out of my book.
Burns, that's just wrong.
No, Burns. I'm with Burns on this one because we're boomers. Michael, you're not a boomer.
I also call it ICs and then have to specify. I also call internets Nats, even though I never experienced a national.
I would just call them GCs and nationals, but your opinion sucks.
Yeah. No, you're valid for saying that. Honestly, I thank you for saying that. Okay. We need to say that more often on Tub takes. Is your opinion sucks?
Okay, understandable. Fair enough. I'm with you there.
I'm with it. The last thing is this is one that, you know, people have been talking about on Twitter. This is like maybe a bit more of a hot take, but is that like people need to go back to like giving themselves more aspirational goals than just qualifying for Worlds, and I think that's like okay. Like, we've all been saying that we're like comfortable with a smaller worlds, but we're also all players that have qualified in numerous years, and we're not super sweating the I don't know. Adi's gonna tell me that he's like, I'm actually sweating next year worlds because he loves to doubt himself. Anyways, he loves adversity. I think more people need to play to win individual tours, and I like to just like kind of like have like success at a like whether however you want to outline the goal. I think like a bunch of like 6 3s like is probably not going to be able to get you to worlds anymore, and I don't think people are supposed to look at that and say, well, I'm going to stop trying. I think you're not supposed to settle for 6 3s. Like like if you really want to, like, just go to less tournaments and try to get one pop off one, like even if you're not even trying for worlds, like it would just be, I think it's something to like have to inspire yourself, is to just like want to do well at one tournament. I want to day 2 something, I want to top cut something, I want to win something. And I think that people need to find other things to play for besides literally just getting championship points towards an invite. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, in the first 2 seasons I played, it was like 18 and 19. Both seasons I knew I would not be able to attend Worlds, but I still went for tournaments. I still qualified for both seasons. But I feel like people should put like a lot more stock into non-Worlds tournaments, like just for the result in that tournament, right? I think, getting top 4 at the regional, winning a regional or whatever, I think that's pretty like valuable, right? Aside from the fact that you qualify for Worlds to get points for Worlds.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And just in general, that's something that that sort of attitude I think didn't exist in Pokemon, at least not among the mid pros like me, right? Because Worlds was so attainable. But I really do think that, I think that it is okay for Worlds to be exclusive. It is okay for Worlds to not be a reasonable goal for you, be it because you are not good enough or because you don't have the finances to do it, or anything in between, right? Maybe it's a combination of the two. You may be good enough, you really well at Warrior, but whatever, right? I like that is a culture that other competitive games have. That this is like you look at Magic the Gathering, where they have a pro circuit, where they have a bunch of tournaments that basically only pros can play in, or the very, very top players can play in. And then you have everyone else. Pokemon doesn't want to do that, and I appreciate that. I think that it's way more fun when everyone can play and the top players have to grind it out and make it through the grind fest that is day 1 a lot of the time, and not all of them make it. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic. But and it also means that anyone can go and compete against these pros and show that they are a pro caliber player. But yeah, I just think it's a very cultural shift. People talked about it as this is going against the spirit of the game, and like, yes, it does go against the spirit of the game, but this is also a competition, and it is in spirit with hey, you have to be the best. You have to strive to be the best. And if you are not striving to be the best, that's fine. You can go to locals, you can go to regionals and do your best, but don't expect to be rewarded like you're one of the best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with this one. And also, it depends a bit on how you grew up as well, I think. Because, for example, as I'm talking, like for myself, I grew up with Smogon tournaments, and Smogon tournaments always had the top 16 cutoff for like Smogon Tour, Smogon Grand Slam, like all of the tournaments. And if people grew up with always having the CP bar, I can see why it's toxic to make it exclusive. But I'm completely with you, Adi, that it kind of kills the spirit of the game. I wouldn't call it kills the spirit of the game. I would rather call it it makes it more exclusive, because in my opinion, I don't see that now with this new structure that there will be fewer players. People expect that to happen, but in the end, we will have as many players as last season. At least that's what I'm hoping for, and also what I predict. Because as you said, you can set your own goals, and especially in the beginning, everyone says, no, I won't play. But they will still be drawn to the game because it's not just the words that's on the line. Because that's what people have to realize, that the events are way, way, way more than just this one goal. And then you will enjoy the events even more if you don't always think about worlds. It's always about this worlds. And right? Just enjoy the time there, and then you will have better performances as well, because mindset is always important as well.
Yeah.
Right. I want to add to that real quick. I can say that impacted my mindset where when the goals go to Worlds and you can do it with a bunch of mediocre finishes, you are more okay with having a mediocre finish. And so for me this season, you look at my season, and I made day 2 at San Antonio, and then I went 6-3, 6-3, 5-4 at regionals. And the last regional, Vancouver, I remember going into it just thinking, I just need any championship points. I should be well on my way to a Worlds invite. And then compare that to Los Angeles, where I cut, or NAIC, where I went day 2. I already had my Worlds invite in my pocket for those 2 events. There was no pressure on me, and I was playing to win those events. And I feel like that freedom, that ability to, basically that freedom and that goal change, where I don't need to make any safe choices. I don't need to settle for a mediocre result. I am going to win this event. I think really, really does help you. And at least for me personally, I said this in my YouTube thumbnail, maybe a little hyperbolic, but I am probably not going for Worlds next year. If I do, I am probably going to go to one LAIC, and if I do well, if I cash, then maybe I'll go to I'll really compete for going to Worlds. But otherwise, I'm going to do what you just said. I'm going to go to 2 events, and I know that if I went to 6 regionals, I could probably make Worlds. But I'm probably going to go to 2 or 3 events and do my best at those events. And with the increased pricing in terms of packs and whatnot, I'm going to try to get pricing and do my best there. And then if Worlds happens. If I'm close, I'm close. But I also think that it is a little frustrating that you kind of have to plan whether you are gunning for a Worlds invite now, whereas in the past you could be like, I had a good result. I guess I can make it to Worlds pretty easily. That's it's a difference now, but now it feels like you have to commit to trying to go to Worlds, or you have to have a really big pop-off tournament that kind of comes out of nowhere to really chase that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't
Do
mind
you think?
them go ahead, Boyd.
Do you think we'll see people making more creative team choices due to this? Because it's, I guess, especially in Europe, I've seen a lot of very standard balanced players.
Let's go!
Wait. I always bring special stuff, okay?
I always bring unbiased guy who's been to both, right? Just say it, right? But I think it makes sense, right? They think I can bring a standard balance. And not to say that they aren't these kind of players in America as well. They are. But, right. They think that I can bring a standard balance or standard whatever archetype team, right? And I can get some CP from this tournament. And if I keep doing this over the course of the season, I'll get an invite, right? So do you think maybe those kind of people might start thinking of, making riskier team choices?
I won't talk anymore. I don't care.
No. Michael, you are absolutely the exception. But
yeah, but I agree. I always play the same teams as well. Europe sucks. I want to live in North America. Please, can someone give me a house or something in North America? Then
yeah. Michael, you want to get married? You can get a visa.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yo. I consider it. But yeah, I think we will not see many. I don't think the team choice will change much, honestly, because it's still, I think the players who play with balance just think that they can be the best balance players, and the people who bring extraordinary stuff, shoutouts to Chef, for example, they will still bring extraordinary stuff. So I think there won't be a big change in that.
Dude, I know a certain somebody who brought something extraordinary to a certain tournament, but whatever, man, whatever. No, you know what? My Portland team is pretty unforgivable.
Electabuzz is pretty cool, but I will still say that Dragapult is cooler.
Oh, that's tough. Honestly, tough but fair, but also tough. Let's actually move on to the last section here, and I want to skip Calc is right this time. I'm sorry, because I think
my favorite.
This seems a little bit funnier. At least to try and talk about this week. So, I don't know why this was suggested, but I thought we could talk about this week.
Oh. What even is this?
I don't know why Pokemon suggested that people discuss is it land or water? But I want to know, in terms of not which game you bought. I don't care. I want to know land versus water. Whose side are you on? Adi, you seem like you have a take. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I live in Texas. It is currently a Team Magma's dream out here. I can't remember the last time I've seen rain. It is between 95 and 100 degrees all day. For Europeans, that is 30 plus degrees Celsius. It's pretty fucking hot. So I'm on Team Land, man. We fuck the water. We don't need the water. I mean, we got plenty of land here, and we're doing great. And you can just drive wherever you want. Why would you take a boat? I mean, nah, I'm here. In fact, I think it should probably get hotter as it goes along. And I think we're actually doing a really good job of contributing to that.
All right, I'll pop in here and say that I am on the opposite end. I think it's Team Water. I feel like we can adapt to living underwater, man. We'll figure it out. If the whole world was ocean, we'd still have fish. We could eat fish, and there's underwater plants and stuff. But we do need water to live, and we can take out the salt of the water or whatever. And so I think that would probably be the way, or something in between. Imagine, I was talking about this on stream the other day. But imagine if we inversed all the water and land on planet Earth, and that's actually the opposite take. But that's actually more land than water. Never mind. But I was talking about that too, as a hypothetical. What if all the ocean was land and all the land was ocean, and instead of it being the world was mostly covered in water, it was just a bunch of small weird shaped lakes. Anyways, Team Water though. I'm definitely Team Water.
Okay, then I will budge in because I'm definitely Team Land. That has personal reasons. I once passed out during swimming. So I never swam since then. Swam, whatever. The last time I went swimming, it was 9 years ago, and 9 years ago I passed out while I did it. So every time I look at water, I want to kill the water, I have the urge to get revenge, but unfortunately I cannot get revenge, and this will get even harder if there will be more water. So I am definitely Team Land.
Oh man, boy! Yeah. All right, I need you to tell me which side are you on.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go for Team Land as well.
No!
I think if it's Team Water, right? If we're in the water, with all these other sort of sea creatures, I think it'd be kind of tough for us, to be honest. I'm not sure if we'd survive it.
No, I think we could make it through. We could figure it out. We could make boats and stuff, and Atlantis. We'd be fine.
So Justin asks, but if you swap water and land, what happens to Antarctica? And the answer is very funny. Antarctica actually becomes the North Pole. It's pretty cool. Because you have this whole icy landmass at the very top of the world, and you have a bunch of watery landmass at the bottom, lack of land at the bottom of the world, right? It just flips. It's pretty funny.
I guess. Yeah, I don't.
Kind of.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. What do you call ice at the end of the day? Right?
No, but there's land under Antarctica, and there's not land under the North Pole.
Yeah, but
that's why one's an ocean and one is not.
I feel like that sounds like a bunch of made up bullshit. I feel like you're just making that up. Next thing you're gonna tell me is that,
also
are you gonna? You're also talking about poles. There's a spherical shape to this whole thing, and I don't know. I don't want to spout this nonsense on our podcast. So, let's go ahead and wrap things up here.
No, we cannot skip the Calc is right. My heart.
Okay, you know what? We can do Calc is right real quick. It doesn't take that long.
That's good because this is the first time that I've been prepared with one in a long time.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Michael, you're
Thank you,
really
guys.
looking forward to one, so let's do it.
Yeah. I'm like a little child who got his first gift for a birthday.
What is your gift that you're bringing us?
Okay, I've got a good one. Since we have Electabuzz brothers in here.
Okay.
Okay, Electabuzz with Volt Switch.
Yep.
Okay, no special attack Electabuzz, but neutral nature, your investment. 0 special attack Volt Switch against Calyrex Shadow Rider, Terra Water.
Yep.
252 HP, 4 special defense. Calyrex Shadow Rider, who is Terra.
Yeah, Terra Water, right?
You got it.
I've seen this before, and I think
that's
but I might have experienced it myself. Who knows? Anyways,
sorry. Can you repeat that? What was that? What was the
0 special attack Volt Switch from Electabuzz into Calyrex Water Rider.
Well, you have to specify which one now. The Shadow Water Rider.
Yeah, the Shadow Rider, which is Terra Water. Actually, let's make it more interesting because you experienced it against Shadow Rider. Let's make Ice Rider, okay? Ice Rider, Terra Water. 252 HP, 4 special defense.
Okay. I'm locked in.
I feel like this one I might have seen before.
Burns said, I'm using the Calc to leak Wolfie's Patreon paste. Oh no.
All right,
yeah.
I got a number.
Is everyone locked in?
I forgot to talk about it before.
Boy, do you know how this works?
Do you know the rules of the game?
Do you give like a number or a range?
So you basically give a number. You give a specific number in the range. So like the default Calc is like Obama Snow Blizzard. It does 34 to 41. So if you picked 40, you would be in the range. And so once you have your number in your head, you just like confirm out loud, like, yeah, I'm ready, basically. And then whoever came up with the Calc will call on people to give their answers.
All right, I got it.
All right.
Okay. So everyone is ready, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I will prepare myself. I just want to make sure it's Ice Rider, okay? Not Shadow Rider.
Yes,
it's Ice
Rider.
Rider.
Yes.
All right. We will start with Void.
I'll go for 36.
Okay. Then I will go with Adi.
I believe in the buzz. I'm going 40.
Okay. And last but not least, Alex.
I was terribly close to Void. I had 35.
Okay. One of you is right.
Oh, one? Okay, hold on. Tarot.
So statistically, that means just most likely to be me, right?
Me.
Yeah. Oh no! All right, 35.7. I'm in there.
Like 35.7 is basically 36, right?
No, unfortunately, but the way the show works, no, that's unfortunately not. We always, give people a hard time when they're just a couple of a fractional off. Anyways, Adi, you came prepared with the Calc. What is yours?
Yeah, so if you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, and by the way, if you missed any part of this podcast, you can check it out tomorrow on my YouTube channel. If you missed any part of my, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, you probably haven't heard that I'm doing the Malamar games. A bunch of content creators play Zany formats week by week. Love it if you watched it. It always gets the worst views on my channel. So, but
that's why I didn't participate this season. Damn.
It's really fun. We have some pretty crazy scenarios, and we had a really, really crazy game against Andy last week. So this is a Calc from that game.
No.
So you can only use Pokemon from Gen 1, 2, and 3. And so he brought a Primeape, and he got it to +6. So let's say 4 attack Adamant Primeape at +6 attack, clicking Drain Punch, into my 252 HP, 252 defense, Bold Clefable. And now you might be thinking, why is the Clefable not unaware? Well, it is, but there's also a wheezing on the field. Real thing that happened. real thing that happened.
So it's unaware Clefable, but neutralizing gas is active.
Max Def Clefable?
Yeah, versus +6
Max defense Clefable.
You said Primeape 4 attack?
4 attack Adamant at +6, clicking Drain Punch.
Okay, I'm definitely in the range. I should go last.
Oh, he's got it. He knows he's so confident he's got it, dude.
He's like, dude, I've played so much like Black and White, DOU.
No, he's the Randbast expert. I trust him. Do I trust myself? No, but I guess I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, Void, you got a number 2?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to start with Alex this time.
44, honestly. I feel like I'm putting the money on the Clef here.
All right. All right, Void, what do you have?
I'm going to go with 60.
What are you guys on about? Oh my god. Okay. Am I stupid? I would have went with like 32.
Let's go. All right, 32. Let's hope that he's.
He would have like okay. Void is definitely not in the range, and Alex also not.
no.
It's maybe 36, but it's 32. I go for 32.
All right. Wait. How do I spell this Pokemon's name? There it is.
Primeape. Prime.
Yeah, I didn't know it had an E. I typed in Primeape. Anyways, we are 4 attack. Adamant.
Wait, what did I say? 32. Yeah. Maybe
Drain Punch is the attack, and we are plus 6. Now, there's no
I was
Terra
just
or anything.
kind of thinking how much a +0 would do.
Now, the Unaware, let's ignore it. Let's make the ability Toxic Debris.
No. Like, I was like, yeah, how much does +0 do? And then just times that by 4, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I had 8% in my mind. Does it do more than 8?
So yeah, Michael, basically, I think you're the worst Pokemon player to ever play the game. I am dead. I am dead in the center. Like, I nailed this shit. Adi, am I right here? 41.5 to 49.5?
Okay.
Michael, I feel like you have to retire.
I have to
this one,
explain
man.
myself.
Like, come on, that is
I have to explain myself. I use Clefable like during Sword and Shield, I used it all the time, and Clefable took everything. I gave it the nickname Clef is Chef.
Right? That's level 100 versus level 50, right?
This is Clef the Chef. You don't know who Clef the Chef is. And Clef the Chef apparently sucks. Dude, Primeape is broken. I will use Primeape in Worlds. Holy shit.
Oh my god. Okay, so it's either me or Void. I forgot to mention Void, but we also have to bring our own calcs to the table. Do you happen to have one ready, or should I go first?
Oh, I don't have one ready. I'll have to
try to think of one right now. Yeah. I have one that I was talking about yesterday, but I don't think anybody was here besides maybe some of the people in the stream chat. So don't give away the answer. But guys, I was curious. You know, we were talking about like broken spread moves, and Koraidon does have one. It has Breaking Swipe. Let's throw everything we have at it and see how much we can do to a Calyrex Ice. So, Calyrex Ice, just the standard EV spread, 252 HP, not 4 defense. But this Koraidon is Terra Dragon Adamant Choice Band with Sword of Ruin, clicking Breaking Swipe. Into
Helping Hand?
No, we can't get Helping Hand in Sword of Ruin unless the Qianpao is next to the Cali Ice, which isn't unreasonable, but not that common. So no, we're not doing Helping Hand, we're just doing Sword of Ruin. Sword of Ruin, Breaking Swipe,
Choice Band,
Terra Dragon, Adamant Max.
Adamant?
Yep. HH into eject button, Qianpao.
This play is really clever because it means you drop the Calyrex's attack stat and you live a Glacial Lance, right? Right?
Adi, I calculated.
Right? It would work in Japan, right? Japan National?
I calculated the Glacial Lance afterwards. I was like, is there any way I could live this if I put all my remaining EVs in defense? No, you cannot live the Glacial Lance in response because you
wait, you're wrong. Because Koraidon with 180 HP and 4 defense, it's a 50-50 roll.
But with the Sword of Ruin.
Oh. The
Qianpao's still on the field, Michael.
I thought we KO the Qianpao with a Breaking Swipe.
Oh,
it's our Qianpao.
It's our Qianpao.
Oh.
Alright, is anybody ready?
No, now I haven't thought about it. Wait. Wait.
Oh man, I have absolutely no idea, but I do have a number that I'm gonna guess.
All right, Void, are you ready?
To Adamant.
Nah, give me a second. I also got to figure out my calc for the next one.
Oh, for your own, right.
Yeah.
It can be boring. It can be funny. It can be anything. It can be something you experienced at your tournament, like Adi's ready. Michael.
I will note down the number. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Void, you got a guess? If you need me to repeat it, I can.
Yeah, just repeat it.
All right, so it was Choice Band, Terra Dragon, Adamant, Koraidon going for Breaking Swipe with Sword of Ruin into a Calyrex Ice.
Wait, what's this?
All right,
wait,
I got it.
All right.
Okay.
Let's start with Michael. He seems confident.
Okay, I did all the multipliers, all the math. It has to be 48.
48? I like the number. Let's see, Adi.
Has to be.
All right. I actually had a very similar number without doing any math. I figure, it either 2 shots or it doesn't, so it's going to do 50.
Okay, 50 on the dot. Void?
I had 40.
40. All right, a little less confident in Koraidon, and honestly, you might be right.
My math said, okay, it has to be 18 without any modifiers. Adamant max attack probably does 18, right? And then I did 12 is stab, so it's 24 with Terra Dragon. With choice bands, it's 36. And then with Sword of Wind. So this was my math.
I'm so excited. And of course, it's a spread move. I kind of forgot to mention that part, but it's not like the Calyrex Ice is the only Pokemon alive on their side. Okay. Gotta keep.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it looks like you underestimated the initial damage output at the very least.
Right.
It looks like it's
it's
more than 18.
50. Yeah.
All right. I think everyone's underestimating Koraidon. I said it had a broken spread move, guys. Come on. It's doing, I think if I read it right, 53.1 to 62.8.
Yeah, that's right.
Now the Glacial Lance in response is doing 134 minimum. So we're 2 KOing them, and they definitely went for Trick Room. It's gonna be fine. Don't worry. They're not gonna kill us. Anyways.
Well, yeah, because they're -1.
If you knock off the thing, do we even need any defense?
There's no faster knockoff unless you want a Choice Scarf. A Choice Scarf Primate with knockoff. I think Primate doesn't
have to
have
eject
knockoff
out into
anymore.
the Sword of Ruin. It has to be faster.
I'm clicking knockoff with my Chenpao. It's
Yes,
just that
I
simple.
agree with
That's the
that.
problem.
Heat.
Is the spread move broken or is it doing the breaking? Great question, Jimmy. Hell yes. I'm confused here for your brother Randy, who's always making.
But that
puns
would
like
mean I use my math now, so it's 20, right? Without Choice Band and Sort of Win, it's 20, right? Without
Nails,
Terra
I'd
Dragon.
expect that from
I
the
think I saw
average Twitch chatter, but you don't get to rain on Audie's parade like that. Come on,
it.
Boyd. Do you have a calc?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is something as well that came up for me, I guess. So
Okay.
we've got Fairy Giraffe Foul Play, right? Against Terra Fire, Max HP, Max Attack, Adamant, Calyrex, Ice Rider.
Okay.
Terra Fire.
Okay.
Wait, could you
+1.
repeat?
It's just foul play from.
It's just Foul Play from Fairy Giraffe. I mean, it doesn't matter who it's from, right?
It's from Abomasnow.
Against, Max HP, Max Attack, +1 Terrafire, Calyrex, Ice Rider.
Okay, I know that Calc because I use Moltres.
What was the attacking mon?
So it's
non-stab.
attacking
Fairy
was
Giraffe.
Cleffa. It was a Cleffa,
No
I think.
stab. Yeah, Cleffa.
Yeah,
Cleffa.
Cleffa.
Exactly.
I need to hear this calculated. I'm sorry. I was talking shit to Nails.
Second +1 Calyrex and it's Terrafire, so
It's
not
just
super-
Terrafire Cali Ice.
Oh,
How much is Terrafire Cali Ice?
Terrifier doing to a Cleffa.
No, how much is Cleffa Foul Play?
I see.
How much does
Okay.
Calyrex
It doesn't
Ice
matter
Rider
who
do
that makes
itself.
basically?
Thank you.
Foul Play
Thank you.
against
Sorry, I
Max
missed the attack.
Attack, Max HP, Ice Rider, +1 Terrafire.
All right, I'm ready to
Yes.
go.
Okay. I actually know this one as well. I've gotten hit by this.
It's a pretty common one, you would think, if you've used Ice
Yep.
Rider or
Yep,
played
yep.
against it with Foul Play.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, is everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, let's start with Adi.
It's doing, let's say, 85.
No, we're Terra.
It's Terrafire.
It's
Terrifier,
Yeah.
but we're a +1 attack. Yeah.
+1,
Yeah.
yes.
Wait, did you
it's
still
also
say
a Cleffa,
85?
so it's not a Grimmsnarl. Hold up.
Okay, never mind.
I'm glad that we repeated
I think-
it because I,
I think-
did miss
yeah.
the +1 somehow at this point. So I
I think it is
counted.
85. Yeah. That sounds about
All
right.
right, sure.
Yeah.
All right, 85. Okay.
All right,
What?
I don't know.
Did I?
all right. Let's go
might have
with
missed.
Alex.
Okay. I think this is like close to 40. I don't know. I'm like messing.
I was also thinking
Two
about
very, very different answers.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah.
My brain is kind of breaking here. Maybe we're mishearing things, but
Maybe
anyways.
my be right breaking too. Yeah.
Michael,
It's
you're
good. It wasn't as easy as it seemed, right?
right.
Let's go
48.
from Michael. 48.
Again.
All right.
We don't have like
48.
Friend Guard or something, right?
No.
Like
We are Terrified.
48. Yeah, we're Terrifier.
Starfire. Yep.
It's non-stab foul play.
It's non-stab,
Yeah.
but we do It does okay. I definitely got the multipliers wrong. But I should be doing more than 48. It should be two-shotting at least.
All right. I'm seeing.
Yep. Only Alex is right.
I was hoping I would get this one right. I had 26 pre +1 in my head.
Yeah, because I know
it was 36.2 to 42.
I know my stuff. It was 26 before Terra, and so I correctly multiplied.
Yeah, I remember the Moltres cut. This doesn't make sense because my goggles Moltres. Okay, listen.
That has
my goggles Moltres does 70. Oh, yeah.
The stab is still applied there.
I'm.
When you said Moltres, I was I thought you were trying to say how the numbers in your head were messed up because you've only used Moltres with stab, but you do have.
Well, I also used goggles Moltres, so no spell tag, so I can just do the same number with multiplied with 0.67. Right. So,
I
had the same like
50 something to Calyrex on Terra, so this does seem like pretty accurate.
Dude, I messed up all 3 calcs.
Did I get all 3? Adi, what was yours again? Yours
yeah, you got mine too. Michael, you were making fun of Michael for it, and then you got it.
Yeah, Volt Switch you also got with 35. Yeah, you got all of them.
I got all of them today. Let's go. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, we appreciate Void for being on so early. Thank you so much for coming by.
Sure, anytime.
Michael, thank you so much for coming on last minute. You had the time, and I appreciate that.
It's just 2 a.m. now. It's
right. I was like, everyone's kind of on at ridiculous times because this is a very NA-centric time. Anyways, thank you guys for being on, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys are, just getting here now, or got here recently and you didn't catch the beginning, it's gonna be up on YouTube tomorrow. !YT in the chat. There we go. So yeah, it'll be up on Audie's YouTube channel, CK49, tomorrow. If you want to, catch the beginning of it. And other than that, I don't know for sure if we'll be here next week. We're in kind of the dead time. If there's some big news, we'll be back. Otherwise, expect regular streams from me, laddering and whatnot. But with that, let's go ahead and figure out who we're gonna raid. I see Joe on. Should we throw it over to Joe?
Yeah, throw it over to Joe.
Let me just make sure Joe isn't having
Joe
wrapping up.
Playing a wild tournament.
Oh, Joe's been streaming for an hour. He'll be going. Let's go ahead and throw it to Joe.
He's got a Wolfie video on, and he's not there.
should we wait then?
Give it to someone who's actually okay. Give it to Ryan. Ryan's actually here.
Okay.
He's actually played his game, I think, for some tournament. I'm not sure which one.
But he's using Shadow Rider. Don't wait, Ryan.
Right. Now we have to go to somebody else. So we have to find somebody that's not using Shadow Rider and
Tom
is at
Hayden.
their stream. Oh no, I'll just
surely Tom Hayden is there. Tom Hayden's always there.
No,
yeah.
No, I'm ready. I already started waiting for Sable Eye.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for being on, and thank you guys for watching. Peace out, peeps. Catch you later.